By
Okay, now start. Sorry,
Genie needs
go.
to be doing.
the red light is blinking, or actually, it's not blinking anymore.
Solid.
So the Backbone Campaign is a arts organization. Sorry, I'm gonna start again. The Backbone Campaign was started by artists.
And he's not going to edit this, We're just going to.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna have
I
to
don't
be chatting
edit
with you.
anything. It
Oh
is
no,
what
we're
it
not.
is.
Okay.
You too. He doesn't know how to edit.
Okay. We were started by artists. Knock it off. To provide creative tools in the progressive movement. We about 3 years ago started to become well known for our accountability and visibility tools because we started presenting Backbone Awards to people who were standing up to the Bush administration. Jim McDermott, who went to Baghdad before the Iraq War,
Right.
And got hell for it, became
You
Baghdad
hippie.
Jim. We ended up giving him the first. Hey, Chris. We gave him the first Backbone Award, and then we followed it up with awards for John Conyers, Stephanie Tubbs Jones for challenging
We
the
love
lectures.
Stephanie Tubbs
Exactly,
Jones.
me too. Maxine Waters, a number of people for standing up for various progressive issues.
And isn't that the award there near the spine? The
That's
golden
the
spine?
spine, the Golden Spine Award. And then we did it. We started by being very opportunistic, and started giving it to folks who weren't elected. And so we thought, well, hold on, we need to have a different award for that. And so we created the Spine Award. That's the Backbone Award. We have the Spine Award, which is a beautiful inlaid wooden plaque. And we've given that to Lieutenant Watada and Cindy Sheehan and a number of Ray McGovern and a number of other either local officials or activists who've stood up in a particularly unique way. On the accountability front, we also have spine cards and spineless citations, what we call our thank and spank strategy for citizen lobbying, so people can hold people accountable to the platforms that they supposedly are endorsed, and then and so anyway,
That's so clever, Bill.
thank you, and we do all this in collaboration with other organizations. We don't actually organize a big event to give a Backbone Award. We'll often ship the Backbone Award to somebody who's having an event, say a labor who's having an event for Sherrod Brown in Ohio. Well, we'll ship them the Backbone. They'll present it on behalf of PDA, the whatever labor organization, and the Backbone Campaign for your, standing up against CAFTA. So then there are visibility tools, and all this you can see at backbonecampaign.org on our website. But our visibility tools include things like freeway bannering. That was one of the first techniques we used to get a message out in a cheap way. A few people make a banner. They put a message. They collaborate on creating a message, and then they go and hold it over at a freeway overpass so that commuters can see it. So we had a banner that said our first banner was "Oil Men leading us into disaster." Sadly prophetic. Now we've had a banner that says, a huge banner that says, "Brave troops, foolish leaders, begin Operation Homecoming." And we've also have used the metaphor of the backbone to. The first thing we did is we actually built these placards, just a bunch of series of placards made out of cardboard and paint and rubber, tire, what do you call it, bicycle tire tubing, connected together, just so that when we showed up at a demonstration, people would see that we're not just against the war, we're for all of this other stuff, and we don't appreciate being fragmented into these issue silos. We're progressives, we're part of a progressive movement, and we have an interlocking agenda based on common values. Now, if we allow ourselves to do that, we'll always be out of power. But if we allow ourselves to see that we actually have an agenda, we have leaders, and we have ideas, we can be imagining how we move into power. And before I move that idea a little further, here's the Chain Gang. The Chain Gang debuted April 29th, 2006 in New York City, and marching down Broadway. For 2 miles, we had an arc of people taking photographs, either from their cell phones or professional news people. And what we learned is that from that is that and we knew from our experience with the Backbone is that the press needs a photo. So you give them a photo. We need to trick the media into covering our movement.
Oh, that's great.
And so they show up in shackles and chains and jailbird suits and guards on each side, guiding them down the street. And we had probably 10,000 photographs. And that may be an exaggeration, but not by very much, in one day's time. And so as soon as we got home, we started mobilizing volunteers to build more sets. And now we currently have 4 sets, one based permanently in D.C., one in Chicago. This is the Chicago set. It's headed to Kansas City. We've had one that was in Salt Lake City. Actually, it was in Denver, then Phoenix, then Salt Lake City, then Santa Barbara, and now I'm not sure where it's on its way to, and one in Seattle. So it's everywhere it goes, it becomes the piece that gets the photograph in the paper,
Right.
on the local television station, etc. Because we're using well-produced art to get the media's attention, and a message like this communicates without any words. So another thing we did with our big giant backbone is we finally built a spandex and kite rod backbone that we brought to outside the Boston Democratic National Convention.
Huh.
Thanks for putting that out here. Hold on, I'm sorry. There's a little bit of
666
extra
on the forehead.
artwork.
Yeah. The artist got a little carried away. We do allow a little, improvisation on the design.
Fantastic. So, you put the actors or the
Yeah, we're going to.
protesters in the suits with the heads, and then chain them together with this,
Yeah, with these fake chains, and we're actually going to take these guys down to Beale Street at 11 o'clock tonight and go bar hopping.
Oh!
Be there.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's always fun. We've done that in Washington D.C.
What a
too, in
great
Adams
idea.
Morgan. People freak out, so it's a lot of fun. And then we hand out impeachment bumper stickers and water cooler impeachment talking
This
point
is the
cards.
Abby Hoffman School of
Totally.
It is.
I actually got a chance
He's
to
my
have
hero.
a beer with Abby Hoffman one time.
Oh,
Wow.
And Abby Hoffman gave me a button that said, "What's so smart about the CIA?" And he said, "You've got to create an 800-pound gorilla in order to get a seat at the table. So they don't want being
Right.
shown." So a 70-foot backbone, a chain gang. We have now a 21-foot inflatable Statue of Liberty that we bring to. We've been bringing to with some immigrant rights folks to a Homeland Security detention facility in Tacoma that has 800 undocumented immigrants held there for deportation, but nobody knows about it.
I didn't know about it.
Nobody knows about it, and they're all over the country. Halliburton's got a contract to build so that they can house 135,000 of these illegal immigrants. Yes, to protect
us,
right? To save our jobs, right?
Yeah.
And but bringing something like an image like the Statue of Liberty and inflating it up and say, hell, we are a nation of immigrants, If this is how we invite them to come in and pick our food and take care of our kids and wash our dishes and then go to jail,
Right.
What is that all about? This is not a good use of taxpayer money. So an image like that speaks volumes just by its presence. So on the theme of backbones and leadership and having a vision for the future, the Backbone campaign has more of a conceptual art piece. It's the Progressive Cabinet or the Progressive Shadow Cabinet. So 2 years ago, we started a project where we allowed people online to nominate their favorite progressive policy leaders to Secretary of Peace, Defense, Agriculture, etc., U.S. Trade Representative, Middle East Envoy, etc. So we have about 25
Was Dennis
positions.
DeSantis here tonight?
He is, and we should all be going over to see him momentarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll wrap this up. So we have done now 52 conference calls, drawing from people who've been nominated on that roster, and invite everybody who's a member of the Backbone campaign to come on and join in. We send them the call-in number. We've talked to Noam Chomsky, Dolores Huerta, Lester Brown, Chalmers Johnson, all these incredible folks. Yeah, Howard Zinn a couple of times. I know, I'm telling you. So and now it's all available for download at our website. And we're calling for a cabinet summit to happen the day before the U.S. Social Forum, because we want to hit 2008 not relying on the Democrats to define a progressive agenda, but the progressive movement defining a progressive agenda. Not waiting for the Beltway progressive organizations to talk about empire and racism in America, but for the grassroots to initiate that conversation. So we'll take those 8 people's priorities endorsed at the Cabinet Summit and create with this our friends Liberty News TV and Matt Power up in Maine, excellent project, and a series of 3-minute infomercials that can be played in isolation or online or on air, or as a half-an-hour program on a progressive vision for the country. And we're going to also bring in the artists again and do a procession for the future, where we commission artists around the country to create 8 iconic festival pieces that we can parade through towns and cities around the country. They can parade and then arrive at a park, circle up, and all of a sudden become a theme park for a progressive agenda, training and educating people who are in that town. So that's part of what we're doing. The last thing I want to close with is, we can't as a movement afford to always be defining ourselves in the negative. We can't only gather to celebrate Dick Cheney or mark Dick Cheney's war or the 3,000th death. We've got to be able to tell people that we have an aspirational, exciting vision for the country. And one of the strategies we're proposing for that is to claim a day. And we're suggesting March 4th, because March 4th is also an action and a salutation. And we didn't know this when we did this, but it happens to be the day that the Constitution went into effect in 1789, which is absolutely incredible if you think about the preamble of the Constitution. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union. So we've got a site up at wethepeoplemarch4th.org.
Okay.
And the 4 is March 4th, 4th. And we'd love people around the country to go there and decide to host a potluck or a rock concert or whatever you're willing to do on that day to celebrate we the people, our aspirations for the future of the country. So go to backbonecampaign.org.
Very good job. And you were heckled.